Good morning, Chebra. Welcome back to the Daily Dose. So today's phrase is a bet, but I'm going to parlay it, from an aleph as well. Bilvad shekavin libo lashamayim. As long as you intend your heart to heaven. So the beginning of this pitgam is echad hamarbeh ve'echad hamamit bilvad shekavin libo lashamayim. Some people may give a lot, may have a lot to offer. Some people may give a smaller amount, a little. They may have little to offer. But as long as your heart is intended towards heaven, as long as your kavana is pure, your kavana is authentic, that's what Hashem wants. And it's a very practical matter, a beautiful phrase, a beautiful concept. It's based on the Torah, right? There are certain type of korbanot that Hashem says, you know what? Here, if you can afford it, give the animal, right? An animal korban. If that's too much for you, you give a bird offering. If that's too much for you, give a little bit of flour. And whatever you do, the most important thing, the person who gave flour is just as good or great as the person who gave, the highest form of offering. Or perhaps the person who gave flour even more, as long as his heart or her heart are in the right place when they're giving it. So, this pertains not only to korbanos nowadays, it pertains to the way we daven. You have certain people who daven a super duper long Shemona Esrei and they're shuckling up a storm. And you have other people who daven a really short Shemona Esrei and it seems like, it's much better to do it. No. What matters to God the most is where your heart is at. What you're really thinking. What's going on in your mind? How do you want to build that relationship with Him, that relationship with others, right? And we know that small acts, little things can go a long way. And, again, it pertains really to so many aspects of our own Judaism. But I think there's another way to look at it. And with this, I want to dedicate this morning's daily dose to Rani London, Reuven ben Pinchas, Zichrona Livracha, who passed away from us too soon. Just an incredible human being. Talk about someone who's all heart. He was all heart. Kindest, gentlest, most tender person that one could ever know. I know that I've ever known. And it's about the heart. And achad hamarbeh ve'achad hamamit. There are people who may live long lives, well into their 90s, even beyond that. And there are people who don't get that opportunity. For whatever reason that's totally incomprehensible to us. It was not in the cards, and they fulfilled their task, their purpose in this world. Echad hamarbeh ve'echad hamamit. However much time you have, bilvad shekavin libo lashamayim. If your heart is in the right place, if you give that heart to others, you share it. That's the most important thing. That's how he lived his life. And all of us should try to maximize every single day with heart, with sweetness, with tenderness, with love for everyone around us, for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for Judaism, for community. And let it show, just like Rani let it show. Mir Tashem, if we could do that, we'll be an aliyah for his neshama and allow his neshama and his memory to always, always be a blessing.